can't forget about Hendrix. Was very, very, very big inspiration on me. In his songwriting and in his singing. But I love Black Sabbath and just the fat blues metal that they came up with. You know, there would be no metal without Black Sabbath. I was about 23 when I started playing bass, so I just got to tell you, it's never too late. Most people start even younger than that, and I have friends who tell me that, you know, they're 25 or so and they want to play an instrument, but they say, I'm too old, it's too late. It's never too late. You can always learn. Chris Squire, John Entwistle, Larry Graham, Jamie Jamerson, Chuck Rainey, bass players, they're my favorites, and they all had these great tones. My first bass was a K-tail bass. My best friend gave it to me. I remember that I wanted to play bass so bad, and just never thought I could do it. I just needed somebody to give me a kick in the rear, just to get me going on it, and because I always loved bass as long as I can remember. I've been in this rock and roll business for a little over 30 years, and I did it all the hard way. Lots of things I've learned, and one of the things I think I would just encourage any young player or singer to do is listen to as much music as you can, all your life. Just engulf yourself with it, because the more music you listen to, the more inspiration that you have, and the more original you'll become. You know, be honest with yourself, like what you do, know what you like, know what you don't like, and get rid of what you don't like, and keep what you do. It's a process of elimination. It takes a long time. You just experiment as much as you can. Go out of the box as much as you can. Just go places musically that are just ridiculous. And as you do that, you'll find something cool in there, something interesting that you might embrace. And then at the end of the day, you can come up with your own thing. You know, it's very, very important, I think, as a musician, to be original. Playing Woodstock '94. It was amazing, playing for almost 300,000 people. The sun was just going down, the lights were just coming up. It was a perfect time to play, and I'll never forget it. Another highlight is touring with AC/DC. They're one of my favorite bands in the whole world, so I got a chance to watch them every night do the same show, and they did it amazingly. They did it with conviction. I remember another time we were playing in Slovenia when the war in Bosnia was going on. I remember seeing the planes flying overhead when they were going to bomb the country, and we were playing that night. And I met a fella at the show that was, I guess you could call him biracial. He was the two ethnic groups that hate each other over there in the Bosnia area that they were fighting for. He was both, and so he had relatives on both sides who were fighting each other, and he was really worried about him. It was a very interesting time over there in Europe to experience some of that from people firsthand. I remember playing Dennis Miller's show live, and this was the time when LA was having the riots, so I remember they wouldn't allow a studio audience to come into the Dennis Miller show because of the danger, but they still had to record the show. So we played, and we played to an empty room, and then they overdubbed the people in the crowd later, which was interesting. I remember opening up for Pearl Jam, King's X, and it was in Florida. The venue held about 2,000 people, and it was outside, and about 6,000 people showed up downtown Miami, and they stormed the gates. It was an interesting show. They stormed the gates when we were on stage playing, so I saw this just sea of people flying in. It was pretty amazing. It was a rocking show. I mean, they were so excited. Everybody was just out of their minds. It was off the hook. You know, for me, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, a highlight of anyone's life would be able to play music for your peers and for them to appreciate what you do. And the cool thing about playing the Limelight was, geez, everybody was there, from, you know, members of the Ramones, you know, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Slayer, Winger, you know, half the 80s bands were there. I mean, just packed with musicians, you know, that were there just you know, big ones, little ones, you know, people that sold millions, people that didn't, you know, but it was just, you looked out there and it's like all these people. And we played for him, and it was really a good show, and I'll never forget it, to see my peers clapping and yelling and enjoying what we were doing. King's X was probably the first band that dropped D-Tune and incorporated as a part of our music. It's in 1988, and I think after that, I guess that inspiration changed a lot of people's minds, because it seemed like in the 90s everybody dropped D-Tune. Music fascinates me, not just singing, playing, listening, but the whole aspect of it, the sound, how it's created, where it comes from, who thought it up, you know? I mean, it's just, music is just such an amazing thing, and it's a huge world within itself. Just playing rock music, I love it.